I'm Shirakawa from OE Transport. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much.
Today I'm talking about OE Transport's evaluation system, which I briefly mentioned in a video released earlier this year. We've just launched the new system. It's not fully implemented yet, but we've started with some members. We're working on it daily while making improvements.
The driver evaluation system?
For now, it's just for drivers, but it'll include executives and likely me too. An evaluation system for the CEO as well.
What exactly does that evaluation system involve?
I think that one of the most common complaints people have when working at a company is the overall ambiguity of evaluations. Not knowing exactly what's expected of you, what you should be doing at work, what is actually being evaluated, or what leads to a raise. And we really want to make all of those things much clearer.
So you'll know that doing this will increase your pay?
Exactly. It'll be clear to everyone that if you do this, you get a raise. It won't be a case of, I did this, but I didn't get a raise. That won't happen.
What kind of level are these evaluations at?
They typically start with minor or simple things, really. Things a new employee can do from day one.
For example, what kind of things?
Checking your appearance before departure, or whether you can move safely. In our case, that includes things like wearing safety shoes properly. If you're wearing them, it means you're wearing the required gear. That's part of the evaluation. That's just one simple example.
But with self-reporting, people can say whatever they want, right?
Exactly, that's the point.
How do you determine that exactly? What's the basis for saying that it's been done?
For safety shoes, we have them record a short video. They include themselves clearly in it, so we know it's them.
I see. And then, they submit that document to the HR department?
Yes, everything must have evidence.
So anyone can see it's been achieved? What are some of the more difficult ones?
For the more difficult ones, well, what we're planning to do is to include things that are generally thought to require some skill or experience. For example, things like knowing the layout of the farms and so on. It might be in a test format. To put it another way, things people said would take years to learn if you just focus on memorizing them. Some people can do it in a single day.
If it's just memorizing, yes.
Compared to someone who's been here for years but hasn't learned it, just knowing it is valuable. It's worth evaluating. Knowing it makes on-site work smoother, allows for better preparation before going, and speeds up communication.
Will there be skill tests as well?
Yes, we're planning to introduce more of those.
Was there any sort of opposition within the company to doing this?
Oh, there was. And there will be more. It's bound to happen as we roll it out company-wide. People ask things like, if I say someone isn't doing their job right, will they be denied a promotion or a raise? In that case, I'd ask them to explain exactly why they can't do it. I'll have them explain why this person is considered bad.
I see. So if there's a dissenting opinion, unless they provide a convincing reason, it won't be accepted.
That's right. It's about making it a format that everyone can agree on. So, as I've mentioned in past videos, people probably say it's hard because it's two-man or that different seniors say different things.
Yes, that definitely happened.
Well then, is it okay to just leave those conflicting instructions as they are? That's been a concern until now, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but while there are various ways to reach a goal, as a company, we've decided to make this the correct way.
So it's like you're establishing a single standard.
This method is our standard. Of course, exceptions exist for different situations, but this is the basic correct way. And if a different senior says, I think it's this way, you can just listen to them. But what that senior is doing isn't the company's standard, and tell them not to force that on others. It's an important option, and that's fine, we appreciate it, but it's not the standard for us. We've adopted what this person said, so if you don't do it this way, it won't be recognized. Saying, this is how I do it, won't be accepted anymore. We're firmly establishing our company's standard.
You've been saying that for a long time. It's something you've mentioned for years.
We've finally started working on it.
It's finally starting to take shape, right? You mentioned that you're currently implementing it in some parts. How are the drivers who have adopted it responding to it?
Oh, it's great. They're proactively offering improvement suggestions and asking if we can incorporate certain things. They're also discussing things like how to gather evidence for this. It might be impossible with the current setup, but we're discussing how we can make it possible to get that evidence.
That's very positive.
Yes, it's easy to just say it's impossible, but if we just keep saying it's hard without trying, nothing will ever improve. For now, we have 3 drivers participating as test members. We'll recruit the second group in July, start with 6 people in August, and recruit the third group in September. We will have a total of 9 people by October, and for all of our drivers, the plan is to begin full operation with everyone working at full capacity around next February.
There are many veterans, right? Those who have been here a long time are also included, I assume.
That's correct.
At this stage, have you already heard any opinions, thoughts, or feedback from them so far?
I haven't heard anything directly, but I've heard that while some things are naturally difficult for tools like Line, if they say they can't do it, we won't accept them saying, well, as for me, anymore. This is the company's means of communication, so saying I can't use it is not allowed.
Well, it seems it's finally reached that point then, I guess.
Think of it this way. For example, when driving a truck, well, it's still the case, but we use manual transmission trucks. I can only drive automatics, so let me drive an automatic. If a rookie said that, a veteran would say, what are you talking about?
It's the same thing, right?
Exactly the same. I don't want to use this tool. No, if everyone is using it as a standard tool, then you need to learn it. So that's what we're doing. So there's bound to be some resistance to that.
At first, definitely. But if the younger staff or assistants are already doing it, they can actually teach the veterans.
That's right. In that sense, I tell them to support each other. Since they're seniors, they have knowledge to share, but, well, there are things you can teach them too. There are ways you can support them. It's a two-way street.
It makes the juniors feel useful too.
I think so, yes. I've always believed in mutual support. It's about turning that into concrete actions, and we even evaluate those actions.
Teaching others.
Being taught and being open and willing to learn new things is also considered an important part of the evaluation process.
With this evidence-based evaluation, how much could it affect annual income? Say for wearing safety shoes, how much would that change someone's annual salary?
Well, from simple tasks to difficult ones, if we look at one completed item, well, since it's monthly times 12, 3,000 yen. It's about 3,000 yen per item. In terms of annual income,
3,000 yen more a year that's impressive.
when we declared we'd pay over 10 million yen, that was part of it. And there were times when we couldn't raise pay. But that's not right. We have to improve conditions. We have no choice but to raise it. But we can't just raise it for no reason. Those who did the work, who got results, those with a track record will get raises. Those who aren't evaluated won't get one. If you keep getting good evaluations, it'll go up. A gap might develop between people.
But you can clearly say whether they did it or not.
Saying, I tried hard, doesn't matter. It's whether you did it or not.
With actual evidence like that, it's clear. Anyone can perform the evaluation.
Right? It doesn't matter who. It's not like the president was in charge this time, so that's why I got a raise. Or this manager was tough, so I failed. None of that.
So it works regardless of who's at the top.
Like, if this person is in HR, if I get close to them, can I get a raise or promotion? Sucking up to people is pointless. It's just not possible.
I hope the whole world becomes like that. We're past the era of things being decided by favoritism.
It was like that for us for a long time too. I've seen many business owners and companies, and many, even major listed companies, use them. There are plenty of famous evaluation systems, but I've never seen one that actually works properly.
It's based on preference.
That's right. Well, honestly, even if people say it's wonderful, there are those who just try to sell it. Many companies are adopting it. But in the end, if you look closely at the content, it really varies depending on the evaluator. Even with multi-level or 360-degree evaluations, when you see the actual details, it turns out that it's different for every person.
The weighting.
It's like only the wording is different. The way this person and that person evaluate the same item is just different.
So human bias inevitably creeps in. Is the goal of this new evaluation system to eliminate that?
Exactly. After all, it's ambiguous if it changes depending on the person.
I believe you mentioned that the CEO will also be included in the evaluation system. Is there a rough schedule in mind for that?
I can't quite predict the CEO's part yet, but how much they directly contributed to profits must be reflected in bonuses and salary reviews. The higher up you go, the more that needs to be incorporated. And naturally, how much they've developed their subordinates as well.
Otherwise, those below will become dissatisfied. Like, why is the management okay with such a lax evaluation system?
Oh yeah, I was told that too. They say, you're doing it for the drivers, but what about these people? I tell them, we'll do it, we will. It's only natural.
It's just that there are stages to it.
For now, we're starting with the drivers since they're the largest group.
It seems like it would be difficult for the office staff. Are you going to decide on the evaluation criteria for them now?
Yes, even for office work, there are many things that can be evaluated. For an easy example, say someone currently types 1,000 characters in 10 minutes.
And then seeing if that time improves.
Next week, they report back after measuring it themselves, saying they can do it in 7 minutes. Then the following week, because, it's not exactly the initial test for remote workers, but there's something we have them do when they apply. I tell them they can use AI to answer. It was different when we first started recruiting, but since we said it's okay to have AI provide the answers, not a single person has passed that test. We're using the same test as before. I don't know how many thousands of people have taken it since then.
So, does that mean it's about whether they can do prompt engineering, whether they can ask the right questions to get the answer?
That's part of it, but they also don't check the output. They just put in whatever answer came out because they asked the AI, and in the end, whether it actually answers the question. I think there are many people who just don't check that.
I see. I've been hearing about hiring new remote workers since around last year, but I was wondering why the numbers weren't increasing at all.
I've forgotten exactly when we resumed, but no one has made it to the final interview yet.
Not yet?
There's the need to understand Japanese properly, and you can't do it without paying close attention to detail. If you can't do that, there are parts where you just won't reach the right answer.
In the article you sent me during the break earlier, the first thing that came up was that I wasn't answering the question, which I think you saw. I called about a different matter the other day, and when I asked if so-and-so was there, they told me they were out buying lunch. I was like, which is it?
Saying they're out is fine.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, I don't care about lunch. So when I heard that, I wondered, since they're out for lunch, which is it? I mean, I get that you can figure it out if you think about it. But it's not good to make the person asking the question have to think about it. Especially when the person asking is, say, your boss. Their mental resources are limited, so making them think about one more thing is just a waste of time, in my opinion. So I asked again, like, does that mean they're not here? And they said, yes, I don't think they're here. So there was this pointless back and forth. When it comes to the hiring and evaluation criteria this time, I want to eliminate that, or rather, I want that to be evaluated. Being able to answer questions properly.
We're including those things, like the sandwich method and such. People who often read self-help books or things like that have probably seen it before. It's the basics or the foundation of conversation and communication, like staying on track and conveying things correctly.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Communicating without offending the other person or making them happy, we're incorporating those kinds of things too.
Lately, looking at everyone's chats, they start by writing what it's about in brackets and then say, if this is okay, use this stamp, or if it's that, use this one. They're using methods that let things move forward without needing a text reply.
Right. Initially, the remote staff were quite thorough about that, but lately it's been getting a bit sloppy.
Yeah, sure.
It's the same for people using Line and such. You want a single answer to the question you asked, right?
Of course. You don't want to go back and forth.
Everyone is working with many different people. It's a waste if you have to keep messaging just one person who won't give an answer.
It's a waste.
People in the office say, it's faster if I just call.
Oh, right.
It's only faster for you, isn't it? The call you're making to one person might take 10 minutes. But in 10 minutes, I could communicate with 10 people. It's only fast within the world you see. I keep telling them to realize they're taking 10 minutes of the other person's time.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure, definitely. I agree with you, no doubt about it.
It was hard for me at first too, but I can say this because I've experienced it. If you can't convey it in writing, you just feel like you've communicated because you see their face or hear their tone, and the other person is probably just saying they understand without really getting it. It's not being conveyed accurately. If you can't convey it in writing, you haven't mastered the language.
Yeah, I would really love for the Shirakawa from 3 years ago to be able to hear that, honestly.
Yes, that is absolutely true. In fact, I completely agree with that statement. I was constantly taking up people's time.
It was like, just call, right?
Humans tend to only see what's right in front of them.
Yeah, to be honest, I really do think that's true.
It's about imagining and considering their perspective. Right? Even now, that's still the case. This mindset hasn't fully sunk in yet, so if someone has a problem, they just end up asking whoever will listen to them.
Yeah.
Because they'll listen.
Right.
Going back to what we were saying, since it's one-on-one, they don't feel like they're taking up time. I told someone who gets consulted often,
yes,
I know you're listening, but this is during work hours, right? The other person might be seeking advice, or maybe it's just their own worries or venting. I'm not really sure. But how many people are you dealing with? What could you be doing with that time? Is anything productive coming from it? Are you giving proper answers, or are you just listening? What's actually being achieved there?
Whether there's any point to it.
And if you can't even give an answer, letting them vent without offering a solution or improvement just leads to more frustration. You let them voice their complaints, and then you just leave them even more frustrated. That's a negative cycle, and you're wasting a ton of time. Besides, there are plenty of others who need to talk, right? Are you even getting your own work done?
By introducing an evaluation system like this, we can start to reduce that kind of thing.
So, there's venting and all that. But honestly, nothing productive really comes from just complaining, does it?
I don't think so.
Usually.
When you see each other every day, especially in a job where you're sharing a vehicle like a horse transport truck, I can totally see how you'd end up wasting time talking about pointless things.
Yes. Well, it doesn't even have to be in a truck. It's like when something happens while a group is together and then after everyone splits up, they start saying that way of doing things was... What's the point of saying it then? You should just talk to the person right then and there. What does talking about it later achieve? What does it solve? Well, I thought it was like this. Don't just think it, ask. How can you know what they're thinking if you're not even talking to them?
That's true. I guess they just want to hear themselves talk. It's not like they actually want a solution. I think they just want attention.
Yeah, I think so too.
They just want someone to listen to what's on their mind.
So even in a two-person setup, it's not like I'm saying you should go out of your way to make each other miserable. You need to discuss work matters properly. That kind of communication skill is essential.
Yeah.
And it's weird to get all defensive when someone brings something up.
Well, that's true.
As long as the person speaking does it in a respectful way. It's the same with gossip. Oh, I heard it was like this. Or wasn't it like that? I mean, if they're just enjoying the conversation, that's one thing. But saying, I heard this, so this might happen.
Yes.
I mean, you can just keep that in mind as a possibility, But what's the point of worrying about gossip beyond that? You're not going to find an answer.
You won't.
Over something that might not even be true.
I saw an article on X that said smart, capable people instantly distinguish between what they can and can't change. It feels like people who love gossip just enjoy complaining about things they can't control. But the people I consider truly smart and effective at their jobs. Like you said, we can't change the law with just our own power. It's like all we can do is vote. You can think of it as how to hack it effectively, but people who can't think that way just complain about the law being this or that.
You just have to work within the rules. It's about how you do it, but people say that rule is bad or the regulation is bad.
That's true.
Since it's decided and everyone is working under the same rules, then it's about how you win within that, right?
Right. Even with the 2024 problem now, the 2024 problem is something we can't change. Well, maybe exceptions can be made, but basically the rules won't change yet. Even if you say it's this or that because of that rule, and even if you get stopped and complain, the authorities are the strongest, so it's impossible, right? But within that, how to avoid getting a business suspension order, thinking and acting that way is just common sense if you think about it naturally. But people who don't have that mindset just keep complaining, is what I think when I'm looking at it from the outside.
Well, that's true. But it's fine. Individuals can have that mindset, and blame this or that, but for people who are running an organization,
yes.
Even though we are currently receiving payments from our customers,
yes.
Blaming the law or maybe something else, like some other factor.
Yes.
What's the point of saying that, right?
That's true.
Can you really say to a customer, well, it's because of the law?
That has nothing to do with the customer, right? The customer pays the fare to have their horse transported. So if they're told something about the law, they'll just say, I don't care.
It's the same as not getting an answer earlier, right? You just need to answer whether you can do it or not.
Yes.
It's just about can or can't, will or won't, isn't it?
So, as we have discussed, we will proceed with the evaluation system, starting with all of the drivers in the group. Then the back office.
Right.
And eventually including the representative director.
Yes. For the sake of the organization's, way of being, or steps, or growth, and how we can grow, we're going to build it up. Please leave a comment, including things like, this makes no sense, or will such a system really work?
I need to make asking for comments a habit. That's right. Once it actually starts moving, I'd like to share the details.
Like specific items.
If it ends up being it didn't work out, then that's that.
Well, if we don't try...
I don't want to have to say it didn't work out, but...
I really want to implement the evaluation system properly.
Yeah, I understand.
We'll go through some trial and error with the content, though.
I'd also like to hear from the drivers who actually went through it.
Yes?
Understood. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Ohe Transport is currently looking for drivers. Please check out our recruitment site or corporate site in the description. And if you're interested, we'd love for you to apply.